Hi, this is Dorothy with Scrapbooking, and I am going to start doing a Dreammaker 6x8 album. So this is the workshop guide that I printed out, 2 pages per sheet. And what I'm going to do, so I've done all the cutting and the sorting. So here's the sheets of cutting. And they've all been sorted into their appropriate pages. So what I am going to do is I'm going to show you some stamping, a few different stamping techniques. But this is what I did. I stamped them in intense black. I stamped the flowers from the kit in intense black so that I could color them. And this just shows you how many to stamp and what size and what colors to make them. So I am going to call this, just so you know, here's another sheet of the stickers that's going to go into the album. And I've gone ahead and sorted all the pages. So front page, and then page 1, page 2. So all of the pieces as I cut them went into these pockets. Page 3. 3A is a 4-piece, 3x4 pieces. So 3A and 3B. Whoops. This came from someplace. And then we've got page 4, page 5, page 6, 7, but then we've got in a 4x6 page protector, 7A and 7B. And then we've got page 8 and 9 and 10. So all of these pages are going to look very different. And then page 11, and then page 11, A and B. Here's B, and then page 12, 13, and then page 13A. And 13B, and then page 14, and then we've got the last page. So these are going to be, I have to figure out where he came from. These are going to be what I'm going to be putting together, page by page. So these are the flowers, and this is one of the titles. Says always, and then living in the moment was stamped over that. And then I'll cut this out. But what I want to show you is the stamping. And I'm calling this Perfectly Imperfect stamping. It's a piece of a sticker there. And this is the, it's got glue on it, the stamp set that I used for the scrapbooking and then also for this album. And it's got the always, there's the always, and then living in the moment. So that got stamped over the always. So I'm going to put that away. And these are the stamps that we're going to be using. So I'm going to be using this stamp and this and this. And then I'm going to show you something with the flowers also. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and put one on my 2x2, and then this is going on my, I think this is 2.5 by 2.5. Should say it someplace. Or 3x3, could be 3x3. I think it's 2.5 by 2.5. And then this one, I'm going to put on my 2x3 block. So these are the kind of blobby kind of looking stamps that I'm going to be using to make my Perfectly Imperfect stamp. So the first one that they have is in, Lagoon. So I'm just going to show you, and what they're showing is to stamp it with this big stamp. And so you see that that goes over, and it doesn't do it's not a full job of covering either. This one could also be used. And then this one can also be used. So I'm just going to show you how all of those look. It's a good place to get your scrap pages out. So these are varied enough that you don't need to worry about it being perfect. That isn't the idea. Actually, the idea is to be perfectly imperfect. And so let me just show you. I want to get plenty of ink on here, though. Okay, so I'm just going to go right over here. And that's what that looks like. So now if I go to this stamp, I might have to ink up my stamp a little bit. It's inkier in some spots than it is in others. Okay, and then I'm going to go over this one like that. And what I might do also is do a second generation. So this is second generation. So I stamped off on my scrap over to the side, and then I stamped it again without re-inking. So I'm going to stamp off over here and then come on here and stamp like that. And then all of these have to get fussy cutted, meaning that you have to cut them out by hand. Now this is another thing that I wanted to show you. So I'm taking my flower stamp and I'm going to put it on another block, except I'm going to put it upside down so that the flat side is up. And I'm going to ink up the back of the stamp. And then going to go ahead and ink the stamp like that. So you can see the outline of the stamp for the flower. And that's actually does a pretty nice job of covering. And so I think I'll make one of those just in first generation. So that's how we get our perfectly imperfect stamping. I guess I'll leave that on and do some flamingo. And then I'll come back and do the small flowers. So we've got these flowers, we've got 5 there, and then here's a number of large flowers that we need to do in flamingo. And once again, I'm going to do okay, I need to go moisten my little cloth here. And I'm going to go ahead and clean off the stamps, get the lagoon ink off. And then I'm going to go ahead and do these in. Now this is first generation. That's going to get stamped in first generation. So there's that one. And then I'm going to come by and do this larger one. And I am not worried about mixing and matching all of these flowers to go on the pages. I'm not worried about that at all. Okay, we've got that. And I want to do this weird little stamp with lines and stuff in it. And I'm just going to go ahead. So this shows you you can make various things and color them different ways. And it doesn't have to be so perfect that, you know, you drive yourself crazy because it's not perfect enough. Okay, so here we've got this, I call them blob stamps, and this blob, don't know what to call this. This is a blob of its own kind. And then this is the reversing. This is this stamp, flipping it over. Now, if you had a perfectly symmetrical stamp, you could color that perfectly. But this is not a symmetrical stamp, so it's not going to be perfect. So I am not going to worry about that. Okay, and maybe I'll do, let me see, I need to have 4. So I've got 4 here. And I will go ahead and color those. Now I need to do, okay, I've got those done. Now I need to do some small stamps. And these are all 2nd generation. So let me get some more scrap out. Now we can use, I'm going to pull out the small flower, and we're going to use the small flower and see how that works. Have to remember to put it the right side down so that you get the wrong side up. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be 1st generation, and here we've got 2nd generation. Oh, that just comes out wonderful. See, this is a little bit more symmetrical. That comes out really good. Might do another one of those just because that's so nice. Okay, there's that. And then we're going to have one of these. Maybe I'll do this one up here. One of those, and where's my, oh, my other silly girl. The other blob stamp is on the back side. There's a big blob. And there we've got that. So we've actually got 4. Oh, we need 6. Okay, you know what? This flower just worked out so nicely. So this is definitely a good thing to remember. Okay, now I need to do 3 of the lagoons. Okay, so I'm going to clean off my flour. And this is also 2nd generation. And there's one of those. So this was a lesson in how to stamp perfectly imperfect. And just wanting to let you know that, once again, perfection can be overrated. So don't stress yourself out doing scrapbooking and card making to the point where you take the pleasure out of your crafting. This is something to enjoy. It's something to be artistic about. And don't sweat the small stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my stamps away so I don't lose them. That's one thing you want to do. And then we've got our last one. So I love these blobs, and these blobs are good for highlighting. If you have a word down there and you want to highlight it, then do a second generation blob, and you've highlighted your word. So that's what these strange things are for. One of the many uses. And then anything else you can come up with. Okay, I'm going to take some time and cut these out. And I'll see you when I come back to put all the pages together. Bye.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Smith. Thanks for watching my video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and learn along with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.